Joy. Okay, today.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Cece. Again, I'm Cece. Hello, everyone. I am a rehabilitation physician from Taiwan, and I specialize in pelvic rehabilitation. Today, I am super excited to co-host this series with Joy, a pelvic health physical therapist based in the United States. Actually, we first met in Philadelphia while taking a continuing education course on pelvic health rehabilitation years ago. I learned that Joy is originally from Korea, and we have stayed in touch ever since. Over the years, we have often talked about doing something together in pelvic health, something that brings together different cultures and explores pelvic health through Asian perspectives while learning from experts around the world. I'm so happy that we finally make it happen through the YouTube series. This series is about Beyond Silence, cross-cultural pelvic health conversations. In this first episode, actually it's episode 0, we would like to introduce ourselves and share what inspired each of us to dedicate our careers to pelvic health. So, Joy, welcome. Would you like
Thank
to say
you.
hello to our audience and let us more about yourself?
Thank you for having me. I'm also super excited to be here. And especially, this is first time to talking in English podcast and as well as the first time to be talking about as Asian providers. I'm very honored to be here. I'm very excited about that. I'm Joy. I'm a pelvic health physical therapist and currently practicing in Brooklyn and New York, and originally come from South Korea, which is Sissy told me. So it's me. I'm actually began my career as an orthopedic physical therapist in South Korea, where I also completed my PhD. But the turning point came in 2015 when I attended the World Physical Therapy Conference in Singapore to presenting my research. During the conference, I attended a lecture on sexual health in physical therapy, and I remember thinking, wait, and physical therapists can actually help with sexual functions. So that moment completely changed the way I thought about rehabilitation. So I realized there was an entire area of the care that so many people needed, and yet very few clinicians were addressed. So that experience inspired me to move to United States for advanced, training in pelvic health. So today I'm a board certified woman health clinical specialist and I care for women and men with complex pelvic floor condition in New York, and also working in both the South Korea and United States has taught me that although healthcare system may differ, but people question about their bodies are remarkably similar. So many
Okay.
people continue to, yes, struggle in their silence with issues, especially the pelvic pain, bladder problem, and pregnancy, postpartum recovery, sexual health. That's why I'm so exciting to this podcast. In our conversation, I hope we can share the science and clinical experience and perspective from the different cultures to make pelvic floor health more accessible and help more people realize they're not alone.
Yeah, great. So, how many years have you practiced in the United States?
So I've been physical therapy for 20 years now. I know this is a very long time. I'm surprised. And 10 years in South Korea and 10 years United States.
Great. That's a good starting point that you share your both areas experience with all of us. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So very similar and very unsimilar for our background. Actually, we dedicate to pelvic rehabilitation now, but we have pretty different experience. So let me share a little more about my own journey. So here's something that may surprise you or the audience. Like many women, after giving birth to my 2 kids more than 20 years ago, I leaked urine whenever I laughed, sneezed, or exercised, which is called stress incontinence. At that time, I was already a rehabilitation physician. I knew I was supposed to do Kegel exercise, but I could not make it. I had no idea whether I was doing them correctly, and I found no way to help myself in Kegel exercise. So at that time, I was very a little bit stressful and a little bit helpless. I don't know if I should take the surgery because I didn't really do the first line treatment, the exercises things. Should I just pass the exercise and go directly into the surgical selection? So I also think if I couldn't do that as a rehabilitation physician, should most of people do it correctly? I was pretty confused. So I asked many women around me, my sister, my swimming coach, my friends. They have delivered babies, and many of them did have the stress incontinence things, and all their method or their ways to get along with the leakage things was that changed their lifestyle. Like my sister loved the aerobic dances before, and then she stopped it because of the leakage things. And my swimming coach, she had 3 babies with vagina deliveries, and she told me, "So what? I stay in the water all day long." So that's the starting of the journey. So during the pandemic, the COVID-19, I took an online lesson that was about kinesiology. And the professor, actually, he was a physical therapy in the States. And his wife was a pelvic health physical therapist.
Oh.
Mentioned about the specialty during the online lessons. So I thought that could be helpful to my leakage things. So I asked him a lot of questions about the career in pelvic health physical therapy. And I think that's something I want to learn more. So I thank him very much because he wrote the recommendation letter for me and encouraged me to study Doctor of Physical Therapy program in the States. And I did so. And during my study about DPT program in the States, I took a lot of pelvic health continuing education courses, and I took the internship about pelvic health during my last 30 weeks in the program. And I treated myself as the first patient in the pelvic rehabilitation. I have no more leakage now. So I think that's something I may bring back to Taiwan. So I came back to Taiwan for 1.5 years, and I did all the pelvic health promotion things and the pelvic rehabilitation things. I think people here, as Joy mentioned, may not be very familiar with what pelvic rehabilitation is doing. What can it help us? So I think education is super important. So actually, I did a lot of YouTube things and podcast things, and I cooperate with belly dance teachers, and I have the pelvic education with the traditional Taiwanese language from the YouTube. So all these things, I think that may be helpful for pelvic health education. But the most exciting one is I saw Joy went to the Ayuga conference this year. Actually, was last month in Brazil, which was I super envy you. Like I wish I were there. So we reconnect because of the Ayuga things. I asked Joy about the Ayuga things, and we think we should brainstorm from a video call to see what we can do for the pelvic health education, although we had no idea at that time. And we thought maybe from the conversation, the overseas conversation, thanks the high technology things, we can talk through the connection. So today is the episode 0. We want to introduce ourselves to everyone. And of course, we cannot represent everyone, every woman in Asia. Everyone is different. But we can share our experience when we practice as a pelvic rehabilitation specialist in different countries, like Joy in South Korea and in the United States, and also me in Taiwan, and also sometime in the United States during my stay. I'm super excited for today.
Yeah.
Actually, today is
So
July 4th. We celebrate the birth of the United States with our podcast.
so
And
yeah, which is like, I think that's very symbolic to your journey, and in terms of like what is really matter most in terms of like for our the pelvic health in just lifelong, which is you
mhm,
got have that moment which is really under control the body,
mhm,
but
mhm,
you find the knowledge, and
and
you
help us.
you you finally kind of know how to manage it, you resolve
Yeah,
it. So I think
yeah,
this is a key message, how important like message delivered to
yes,
the right person. So that's why I was like, when I first time saw you, oh my god, because I literally feel the so feel bad with like Asian woman in
uh-huh,
terms of the differences, the amount of resources and knowledge
mhm,
and
mhm,
by
mhm,
expert, like,
mhm,
so that's why I was so excited to just meet you itself, and also like we all agree how important the conversation have to be, just to
yes, yes,
share with
yeah,
women
yeah,
in different kind of
yeah.
countries.
Yeah, and it's interesting, like the thing inspired us to dedicate into pelvic health is something we met overseas. Like you
Yes.
joined a conference in Singapore, and I took an online lessons during the pandemic.
Mm,
So maybe somebody heard us from the podcast, from the YouTube as an
yeah.
yes, as an inspiration. That will be super meaningful for us to do so.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the key is like, it's, I believe this time the pelvic floor, issue, it's most of pelvic floor issue is preventable, first of all.
Mhm.
And then
Yes.
second of all, even though that happened, there is solution out there. So,
Yes.
which is you, yeah, that's, you've been through like that. And also the birth event and
Uh-huh.
pregnancy and birth event is
Uh-huh.
exactly like the critical time to like the physiological the change, as well as dramatic like the change and then injured happen, which is that's we have to be kind of aware, and then have idea how to prevent that kind of all
Yeah.
condition
Yeah.
for like lifelong, the better care of our pelvic health.
Yes. And actually, I heard you about like the sexual medicine you joined in Singapore, the conference. Actually, the pelvic health is more than the leakage or prolapse things. It's also about sexual health. Then maybe people in Asian, women in Asian are embarrassed to talk about sex. And so maybe we can talk it easily from our channel and be the pioneer to do so.
I think that's a super, super important topic, I believe. Actually, because of that, I'm started to sexual health counseling program
Oh,
from the
that's
Michigan
super great.
University.
Yeah,
I know this year. Yeah, because like,
yeah,
as a physical therapist, so we really get trained in like the physical stuff, but the sexual health is more than just physical. So I want to just,
yeah,
better skill and better understanding, just as the whole, the human life perspective and
yeah,
psychology,
yeah, yeah,
that background are so very helpful. And I'm very kind of looking forward to that type of conversation
yeah, yeah.
in the
And
future, especially we need
also,
it.
yes, and also I'm actually experiencing my menopause. So I know how to take care of myself to like prevent some issues, starting from the menopause, and like many symptoms during the menopause, actually our knowledge can help them. So I would like to share with people about how to deal with your menopause. So actually we have so many things to share.
Yep. And also, I think it's very important to most of like pelvic floor information in just my observation in just Asian countries, pretty much personal experience.
Uh-huh.
And that's everything's information is valuable, but I think it's a little bit kind of lack of the scientific idea, evidence-based kind of
Uh-huh.
approaches, which is evidence-based practice is not everything, but actually but it's really very high informed
Yes,
information.
yes, yes,
Women have to understanding what we know currently in the
yes,
scientific perspective. So I think that also we can share is not only just
yeah, yeah,
just experience, but I think we can share like the science and clinical experience and just like the life as woman. Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
many
yeah,
so many topics.
yeah. That's super great. So I want to end with our announcement for the next episode. The episode 1 will be Joy will share with us about her experience in IUGA conference last month in Brazil, and we will start with some like the birth injury about the vagina deliveries. So
Yeah, and
what?
well,
Yeah.
yes, IUGA is. I think this is, to briefly just explain that IUGA is one of the biggest conference, the multidisciplinary pelvic floor order,
Uh-huh.
the community, which is
Yeah. Yeah.
urogynecology, international IUGA, International Urogynecology Association, which is
Association.
yeah, which is so it's just so incredible because everyone is just talking about pelvic floor. And then
Yes.
everyone talking about to just study and research and practice, and they just is so passionate about what they're finding. And this year or so, like yeah, definitely I have some topic I want to share with you
Yeah,
guys.
I
Like
saw that. I saw that.
I
Yeah.
know that's just that kind of also, even though I've been PT, 10 years, as pelvic PT,
Uh-huh.
there's a new finding, from basic science, and that affect like our clinical reasoning or our the why like matter stuff. And yes, absolutely, I would love to share that kind of knowledge what I learned.
Yeah. So that's super great. Actually, the Ayuga, they have 8 different special interest groups, and pelvic rehabilitation is one of them. So I think the issue about the pelvic floor rehabilitation is super important. Yeah. So,
Yes,
so I would like to hear more about it.
sounds awesome. I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah. So today, just the beginning of everything of our series. So I hope our audience enjoy our conversation, and we will have more and more conversations about the pelvic health in the future. And so please, you can share our channel with your friend and book it and like it. Okay. So Joy, thank you very much for everything. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much to having me.
Yeah. So enjoy your weekend. See you next time.
See you next time.